Hello and welcome back to another one of my FPL videos. I of course am the FPL trade, and in this video I'm going to be talking about transfer plans ahead of game week 12 in a video which, I'm not going to lie, I could easily be talking about transfers for a whole hour. The amount of issues that we've had after game week 11 is absolutely crazy. Just look at this whole squad I've got here right now. Every single one except from Turner is flagged up, who's obviously been dropped from Forest. Now, I do expect possibly Matty Cash and Madison to be back for the weekend, but obviously it's not confirmed, so they're both still flagged up. I did think Odegaard will be back as well, but he's still not actually in training. Now, obviously, I am recording this video before the Arsenal game tonight, so you never know. He could be back in the game tonight in the Champions League, but we just don't know yet. But as of now, so far, all these guys are flagged up for game week 12. That just shows you how many issues there are. And if you've got several of these players, man, just hit that wild card button. It is an absolute nightmare right now. I've got a few players flagged up myself, and I'm sure most people do right now, because that game week just gone was absolutely crazy. So the first player I've got in here, now this is one of 4 transfers that I will be talking about. I don't want to do too many because the video going way too long, and it's not like people like to watch them anyway, but still. First one I've got in here is Dan Burnt Out. Now, I've got him in my team personally, and obviously Eddie Howe did come out and say he's going to be out for a while. New year looks like he's going to be back. So he is somebody high on my list to get out. Will I do it immediately? I'm not so sure just yet. Obviously, I got him at 4.5 million. So I've got time before he hits that price. I mean, I could sell him and get that 0.1 value out of him. But I'm in no rush at the minute, just because he's not the only person that's flagged up in my team. And just because of the fact that beforehand, he was actually just sitting on my bench most of the time. He was more of a backup option for me, just because there were other defenders that I preferred. I didn't fancy going for Newcastle double defence all the time. And he was like just a backup option because he was 100% starter and he was playing for a good team. Like I said, it's a shame because he did have Bournemouth away next game. But one of the options I'm looking at replacing him with is Harry Maguire. Now, this one is a gamble as well, because obviously Varane, he's getting closer and closer coming back into the team. So whether he replace Maguire or Lindelof, we're not 100% sure. But Harry Maguire did have a good game in the last game. Now, I know Man United have been shocking this season. At the back, up front, the whole lot has been awful. But they did just get a clean sheet against Fulham at Craven Cottage, which isn't an easy place for United to go to in the past. So that was pretty impressive, especially as well when it looked like he had a concussion in that game as well. And he still had a good game with that. So hopefully he'll be fine for game week 12. Obviously he's got Champions League game on tonight, so we'll see if he plays in that one as well. But this is more of a short-term option as well, as because obviously I don't fancy keeping Maguire for game week 14 and 15. This is purely because game week 12 he's got Luton, and game week 13 he's got Everton away. Those are 2 nice fixtures, and United might actually manage to keep a clean sheet in those games. More confident with the Luton one because it's at Old Trafford. Obviously, Luton just scored past Liverpool, which was a shot, but that was actually at Luton's ground. So I'm hoping, because it's at, well, I'm expecting because it's at Old Trafford, they can kind of keep a clean sheet. And Everton are a team that struggle to score goals, so those are 2 games where I would say he can do pretty alright in. So that's why I'm recommending Maguire. But there is other options out there. Obviously, you could go for like a Delone as well, who's probably more attacking at United. But for me, I'd probably just go Maguire because he's a lot, well, he's cheaper than the other options and you get more money in your bank to put elsewhere. So this next transfer I've got in here is taking out Mbeumo for Eze. Now, this one might come to a shock, just because obviously we saw that team at the start of this video where we had the likes of Odegaard. So if you want to take out Odegaard, Madison if he's not going to be fit, Neto or March, for example, then yeah, that's fine. Take them out, definitely. All those players I definitely recommend taking out. But this guy here, Mbeumo, obviously he's going to be fit for game week 12. Now, he is in some hot form right now. Absolutely smashed against both Burnley, Chelsea. Got the assist in the last game as well against West Ham. He was quite unlucky as well not to score in that game, to be fair to him. So you think, why the hell would I want to take him out of my team? Which I kind of get that. But the next 2 games he's currently got is Liverpool away and Arsenal at home. Those 2 are mega difficult fixtures for Brentford. Can I see him getting anything in those games? I can't, if I'm being honest. Even though he's at home against Arsenal, which is obviously the easier of the 2 fixtures, if you think of it like that. Arsenal's back 4, especially their 2 centre halves, Saliba and Gabriel. I think it's the best partnership in the league. personally. So I can't see him really scoring. Maybe game week 14 you want to keep him, leave him on your bench till then, that's fine. He's got Luton, and 16 he does have Sheffield United. But then in between that it is Brighton and 15. 17 he then has Villa, and 18 he is going to be blanking because obviously Man City are going to be away. So I personally would take the gamble and just take him out now. I know he's in form, but the fixtures are really difficult. Yeah, Luton is a nice fixture, but I feel like there's better options out there. And obviously, the option I'm bringing up to you now is Eze of Crystal Palace. Now, I love Eze. I think he's a quality player. He's been out for quite some time now, and he's finally come back into the team. He came off the bench against Burnley in the last game, so he got half hour on that pitch, and he still came away with an assist as well against Burnley. So that tells you how good he is. And the fixtures that he's got coming up. So obviously, Mbuemo's got Liverpool away, and at the same time, Eze's playing Everton at home. So I'd much rather have Eze in my team for that fixture. And obviously, we talked about obviously Mbuemo having Luton 14. Well, Eze's got Luton and 13. So there's two fixtures there. It's much better than what obviously Mbuemo's got. Yes, obviously game week 14 Mbuemo has the better fixture there, but game week 15 he's then got Bournemouth at home, which is also a nice fixture. So 3 out of the next 4 fixtures are really good for Crystal Palace. And like I said, Eze's just come back from injury. He played half an hour, so it'd be interested to see if he plays the full game in their next game against Everton. I reckon he will. I do think he's going to start in that game. And he's definitely somebody who I recommend looking at. He's only as well 3% owned now. So I think if you get on him early, everyone else is going to want to jump on him after this Everton game, because I reckon he's going to do really well in that game. He's much cheaper now than obviously Mbuemo. They were both at 1.6.5 mil, and they're both now got quite a big margin of 0.7 between them. So again, you're saving bags of money to put in your team elsewhere. I just think the guy's quality. He's going under the radar. Not many people have actually mentioned him because he returned the other day. And I do think this would work out perfectly. Somebody I'm definitely thinking about bringing in. Obviously, I don't own Mbuemo, but I do own other midfielders like Luis. No, I was going to say Luis Diaz. I don't own him anymore. But Douglas Luiz of Villa, I'd definitely look at taking him out possibly and bringing in Eze. So the next transfer I've got in here is taking out James Maddison, who obviously he did go off injured in that Chelsea game. We don't know yet the full extent of the injury, so it might be nothing serious. He could be back for game week 12. And if that is the case, obviously I definitely recommend keeping him for game week 12. Maybe look at 13 to get rid of him. But if he is injured, definitely take him out, because afterwards the fixtures are not too kind to Spurs. Now the replacement I've got in here is Kudos. Now obviously the best West Ham option is Jarrod Bowen. So if you've got Jarrod Bowen, I definitely recommend going for a double up on West Ham. But if you don't have him, I recommend Jarrod Bowen, because obviously he's also cheaper than James Maddison. But I've got Kudos on here. Now, the guy's just come back off 2 back-to-back 90 minutes for West Ham. So it looks like now he's finally embedded into that first team squad, which is great. He's just come off a disappointing loss to Brentford, but he did get a goal and assist in that game. So that's pretty decent as well, because Brentford are a good team as well. And now the fixtures that he's got coming up, Nottingham Forest at home, which is a nice fixture, despite obviously Forest just winning 2-0 against Villa, but that was at Forest's ground. This is now at West Ham's, so I think they're the favourites for that game. Then they've got Burnley away, which is a nice fixture on game week 13, which is great because obviously game week 13 there are a few tough fixtures for the better team, so there's another reason why to go for him. Game week 14 he then plays Crystal Palace at home, which is a nice fixture, and then 15 is a little bit tougher. But those next 3 fixtures are pretty decent for West Ham, and if he plays 90 minutes in all 3 of those, I don't see him stopping from getting goals and assists in those games. The guy's literally 0.6% owned as well, so nobody really owns him. I reckon he's going to be a quality differential, and he's going to boost your rank up massively if you go on him early. So then with my final option here, now I'm not going to lie, I did set this video up last night before the Champions League games. So obviously I did have Erling Haaland out for Wilson. Haaland ended up starting against Young Boys, scored 2 goals, had a great game. And it looks like he's going to be fit for game week 12. So I've replaced him with Alvarez instead. Now he's also quite highly owned at 33.9%. So that's quite high. And Man City do have tough fixtures coming up. Now I know it's Man City, what is tough, but for Man City this is going to be as tough as it's going to get. Chelsea away, Liverpool at home, Spurs at home, and then Aston Villa away. Those are not easy fixtures, and I wouldn't recommend going for double up a Man City attack for those fixtures. And obviously the replacement I have here is Callum Wilson, who also played last night, and he went off injured. Now, Eddie Howe has spoken about it since, and he said the reason why he took him off is because Callum said he felt a tight hamstring. So he's not pulled anything, so it's nothing serious. So he could still possibly be back for game week 12. It's doubtful because I'm pretty sure, anyways, that Newcastle is the early kickoff on Saturday. And if that is the case, then let me just double check. No, it's not. So I'll take that back. It's not. They're the late kickoff on Saturday, not the early kickoff. So unfortunately, this is a massive gamble now thinking about it. But in terms of options to bring in for a striker now, there's not actually that many. Now, yes, Darwin Núñez could be one, but the fixtures aren't exactly the easiest for Liverpool at this moment in time. They've just had their 2 easy fixtures. Now, they've got 2 quite difficult ones in Brentford and obviously Man City. Callum Wilson now, if he is fine, and I'm hoping he is going to be fine, because obviously Isak's out, so he is the number 1 option. He's going to have Bournemouth away in game week 12. That is a great fixture for Newcastle. Then obviously Chelsea and Man United, both those at St James's Park. I think he'll do alright there. And then it's Everton away in 15. So hopefully, fingers crossed, Callum is going to be fit for this game. Because I do think he is the best option to go for if he's going to be fit. Now, like I said, it's just a tight hamstring for him, they said. Hopefully we find out more team news before the deadline. It's a shame that they're not the early kickoff now. I don't know why I thought they were, but they are the late kickoff, which is a shame. But if he is fit, I definitely recommend going for Callum Wilson. But if he isn't, and you don't want to spend too much money, maybe just go for Cameron Archer because he's 4.5 million. And if you don't own him as well, so then you can put money elsewhere in your team. But for me, if he's fit, definitely look at getting him in your team. So that's it now for this video. Let me know what you think of those transfers that I've recommended, particularly the striker option. Let me know if there is a striker out there who I'm not thinking about bringing in, because I'm not going to lie, I'm actually struggling who to bring in for a forward to replace anybody that I currently own myself. So let me know what you think there, or who you think I should bring in. Please don't forget to like this video as well, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you all on the next one.